Hey folks, good morning. We are going to continue our efforts in producing art assets for the upcoming Spelljammer's Combat Exploration. We'll be publishing on the DM's Guild here as soon as we get it done. Give me a second here to check my signal. And then we'll start rolling into stuff here. And okay, that sounds good. Hey, if you follow me on Twitter, I've just posted I'm live on Twitter, so if you want to hear when I'm live, you can follow me on Twitter. And I'm going to just kick some signals across Discord here real quick, and then we're going to dive into doing some more token production today. We've been, what do we say? I make PDFs. I make supplements for D&D 5e. I post them on the DMsGuild. You can check a link down below in the description to a link of DMsGuild stuff that I've created. It's worth taking a look at. All my work is 100% preview, a full book cover to cover. You can read the entire thing, run an entire campaign if you want. Just check it out. If it's something you find yourself coming back and visiting because you're interested in something, consider making a purchase. All the artwork in there is mine. We're creating more artwork now for this. So the designs and the development is mine. I hire editors. Sometimes I hire co-writers to help me with the lifting. Just depends on what we're doing. So what we're doing right now is we are creating token assets, ship tokens. Right now we're working on the living ship. So if you're new to the channel, I do this every morning, except for Sundays. Take that day off. Otherwise, I'm here every morning for a couple hours, and on Mondays and Thursdays, I'm back for a couple hours in the evening. And on Mondays, I have a lunch stream as well for development. So we're working on ship tokens right now. Let's take a look at just for the new people here. Like we built a bombard with a big sail, and we got the damselfly. We got the flying fish. A hammer, the so sweet hammer head. Come on, son. Hammerhead ship. We're working on the living ship right now, and we've also finished the scorpion, as well as we did the tyrant yesterday. What a goofy ship. It's just basically a big rock with knobs on it. Anyway, so yeah, we're building each of the ships. Let's take a quick look at DM's Guild and go take a look at the living ship to make sure that I've got a proper sized thing. Boom, 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 boo, doo. 1, 2, 3, 4, Y. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same width as there. So our living ship, like that, there. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Let's open an image in a new tab. Let's copy that image. Why don't you do what I want you to do? All right, well, let's, I'm trying to import this real quick to make sure that I've got my ratios right, because I've had my ratios wrong in the past, and I don't want to continue making that mistake. So let's just do it this way. Paste. There we go. So we're going to stack up this ship real quick. Hold on. We'll take this bit, and then we'll take this bit, take this bit. There. Cool. All right, so let's start stacking. Go here. There, and now we can let's see. Hold on. Get the wings. We'll stick those in here. Let's check the length on this thing. Hold on. $80 feet wide, 80 feet long. So let's go back to our dock here. 80 feet. So these are 50-foot squares. So that does feel almost 80-ish. God, that prow is long. That feels right. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just a bit shy. Let's make it a little bit bigger then. Maybe about like that. Let's see if that jives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is your glitch, dog? Maybe there's a more sensible way I can resolve this. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Way too short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bob's your uncle. Hey, Hornetico, man. It's good to see you, dude. We're figuring out our boat. So that's the right size. Oh, that prow is long. All right, so let's mod. Mod. Ah, good point. Let's have this line up something like that, and then I can seal all this stuff. Left and right. All right. So let's see. Stuff there. I think I. Oh yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay. Here to here. We can merge all that business down. Prow is ridiculous. Free transform. Nerp. It's the inconsistency of where the how much fins and prow and stuff like that aren't necessarily considered in the size of the ship. Sometimes they add the tail, for instance. Like sometimes a tail is added to is considered part of the boat, while other times it's not. So there's a lot of inconsistency that happens there. But this should probably be okay. Edits are coming along great on the book. I mean, the first pass of the edits are done. It's just there's a couple things that when the book gets when a book gets edited and it comes back to you, there's always a little bits that are oh, this needs this wasn't fleshed out properly. This wasn't worded well. So there's maybe a few pages worth of edits that I'm currently having to make here to make sure it all sings together properly. But I think we're going to have. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be done with the second blush this weekend. So current plans remain with working on Eberron tonight, and then me taking time on downtime on my own between now and Saturday to resolve those bits. I didn't for example, what's a good example? I had made mention, when you're dealing with siege weapons, when you're attacking with siege weapons, you can speed up how fast a siege weapon can fire. Let me turn that around. If you're missing crew, if you're missing siege crew from say your catapult, the catapult is going to fire more slowly than the normal crew capacity is supposed to be. If I have God, words, Kearney. If you don't have enough crew, your rate of fire on siege weapons is going to be slower. But if you increase the amount of people on your crew, it doesn't necessarily increase the rate of fire for the weapon, and that hadn't been spelled out. So it's just like little details when you get the edit back and you read a good read, like once your text is properly translated, you can then read it again and reading it like the first time because it's been completely redone. So it's what you gave them, but it's fed back to you with different language. And when it gets fed back to you, that's when it's like, oh, wait a second, I didn't, like, here's a specific detail that I missed that we really need to point out. So like those little bits are what we're currently resolving. So it's coming along nicely. I like I said, I'm expecting it to be done this weekend, and then we're just doing asset production, and then we'll move into probably. I wanted to start doing page layouts this weekend, but I think I have to chew on the little bits a little bit more, so it shan't be until next week that we'll actually be rolling that out, which is fine. We're not in a rush. We just want to make sure it's done right, and it's great to find holes in what you've produced. Earlier the better. I mean, it's a PDF, which is awesome because I can come back and always add to it. But if it's a professional product, I really need to make sure I have all my bases covered. So all the core all the rules of it I like, and it's just we are clarifications and eliminating caveats, like just trying to lock it down so it's as clean as it can be, so there are as little questions as necessary. Hopefully that makes sense. God, I'm a rambling fool today. forgive my, they call them speakeasies, but boy, I speak clumsy. Pull these wings away from the frame so that you can see what's actually going on there better. We'll go to there. There. Just like that. Icked. Pull that in. There we go, my dude. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and it's off a little bit. Cool, that's the right size. It's actually the right size. Excellent. I am pleased to see that. Let's merge this monkey business down. Merged. Conceal those for a minute. What? Yeah. Conceal those for a minute. Let's get back into. There we go, like that. that, and then I can like that. There we go. Turn that up. Oh man, I gotta get a timer going. Thanks. 6:28 here in the AM in Seattle. We are going to give ourselves 80 minutes. There we go. In 20-minute blocks, we're going. Sip of coffee. Yeah, we're going with a shorter prow. That's okay. I'm having to reimagine these things a little bit to fit inside the space constraints that we have for them. But technically, anything up to... if it's going to fit in a 2x2 space, I can abuse it by making it, you know, fit within a 2 space, you know, 2 squares up to 100 feet. I could fudge it that way. I don't think I want to, though. I'm going to duplicate. There we go. Duplicate this layer, and then we're going to unclip. Or, actually, let's not. Let's try that again. Free transform. Free transform. 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 Perfect. Perfect. We're going to duplicate. And we're going to transform flip or horizontal. Yeah. Excellent. Good job, Kearney. You did it right this time. Done did good, kid. Done did good. Nice. All right. Hey, we got a ship. So again, the mechanics that we're using here at the 50-foot scale. You have the 5-foot scale for boarding. You've got 500-foot scale, which is the furthest scale range that you can have siege weapon combat. If you scale out to 5,000 feet or a mile, if you're targeting something that's miles away, it's space, so you can shoot at it, but as long as if they're aware of you, I mean, if they aren't aware of you, you can still attempt to hit them at disadvantage. But if they're aware of you, they can just slide out of the way. It's literally a mile away. They can see it coming. So if you're within a mile, though, you can hit something at disadvantage. And if you're within, like, say, a trebuchet has a 1,500-foot range, mangonels have a 1,000-foot range, and ballista have a 500-foot range. So at the 500-foot scale, each square is 500 feet. So a trebuchet can hit something within 3 squares at the 500-foot scale at normal attack. If it's beyond 3 squares but within 10, then it's at disadvantage. If it's beyond 10, it's still at disadvantage. But if the enemy isn't stunned or flat-footed or paralyzed or something like that, then you can still attack them beyond that mile at disadvantage. But if they're aware of you and they have mobility, you automatically miss, unless for some reason they choose to get hit by you. So that's the 500-foot scale. But at the 50-foot scale, that's that between zone, between boarding and long-range combat. We call that close range, where you can... the 50-foot range is more practical for you to be able to engage in dogfighting with another ship, to have weapons attacking without having to worry about being at disadvantage, for smaller ships to be able to attack larger ships, as well as characters to be able to spellcasting at a reasonable scale, archery, stuff like that. So you get those 3 main scales that we operate inside of. So since ships are more than 50 feet long, we have this 50-foot scale grid, that we can depict the ships on with these tokens, so that while you're engaged at the 50-foot scale of battle, you can, have a large size flying, living ship running around with you. So anyway, that's the story behind that. The book explains it like in a page with pictures and stuff. It'll be cool. You'll like it. So we'll let's do that. Let's pull that in there. Pull that in there. We'll call that BW. And now let's make a duplicate layer. We're going to merge that layer. We're going to make this one color. And let's grab a turret. We'll call this one turret. Boo! And we'll just put you there. And we'll take this other bit. I'll drop that opacity down to 50. Bam. There's turret there, and then there's their turret there. Cool. Colors. We're going to pick out some colors here. So let's see what we got. Blah. A bluish. Yeah, this is a great painting. There's the rigging and deck. Oh yeah, we got to check that stuff out. Let us see how the deck plan do. We gotta put a sail in here somewhere, right? So let's see. Is that right? God, it's got a mangonel and it's got Living ship summary. It's got a ballista. There you go. Stairs down, and oh, it does. Yeah, it does have a mast. Okay. Let's see. What does that mast look like? Let's take a closer look. Very nice. Huh. What is the purpose of all that shenanigan? Main deck. Yeah, that's a thing. Huh. Just trying to figure out what is going on here. You got that crow's nest, but why? The reason for a crow's nest is so you can get higher elevation, so you can see further along the horizon line of the ocean, because things disappear on the horizon line, and you get higher elevation so you can see further ahead. But I'm not seeing God, that's goofy as hell. All right, well, let's I mean, that's what we do. We solve problems here. So let's see what we can do to solve some problems here. So that is, God, there is no mast on that, because the mast is here connected to the prow. And I'm guessing, and that stuff isn't even actually connected to the sails out here. And there's no sail back there. Jeez, crow. That's fun. Okay. Okay. Be bold. Like an American. Like an American. Let's go like, how's that feel? Yeah, it feels pretty good. There. Cool. I just don't know why that would be there if there was no sail. So goofy. Let's problems. do. We could have it off center like that. That's kind of cool. Let's try that. Let's go with that. Let's be inspired. Nurgles. Let's just be inspired here. I think these illustrations in the deck plans have maybe you've picked up on this, that there's an inconsistency between the illustrations and the deck plans of these ships, because no one is really taking into account, other than the galleon. There's like no indication about the deck plans have masts, the illustrations have sails. None of the deck plans have sails to show how much of your vision is obscured by the size of these sails, which is something I'm attempting to correct here. I don't know if it's going to be popular or not, but if you like it, then you buy the supplement because you get the tokens and you get an entire combat and exploration system with it. If you don't like the tokens, then you get a whole combat and exploration system with some tokens. So whichever one you value most is what I'm promoting for you to grab it. So what are you saying? It is a little bit I think I'm clipping my text. Hold on. It is a small example that makes a big difference when you're actually trying to imagine, like, how do these things do. I know that 5e got rid of the need for rigging altogether, but they kept the aesthetic, and the aesthetic implies that there's a aesthetic. How to put this? Regardless of how cool you think something looks, if you're creating if you're looking at something and it's like, oh yeah, there's rigging there. Oh yeah. How are you dealing with that rigging? And the answer is not your ship's crew. It's like, once the rigging is set, you're done with it. And then the Spelljamming pilot takes care of all the actual driving. Back in 2nd edition, you actually needed the crew to work the rigging. And so if you were missing crew, your maneuverability and your speed suffered from it, because they weren't able to, catch the wind to make the thing go. So I think it's smart that they got rid of the need for the crew and the rigging, but they kept the aesthetic there. So now we're kind of stuck with this clunky. I can only take this product so far away from its original content and have people follow along with you. That's like, you have to, if you're leading the way, you have to make sure there's people following you. Otherwise, you're not leading. You're just a crazy guy running off a cliff. So that's stuff that you got to consider. So I can only make so many changes to the system before it becomes imperceptible as the system that we were creating, if that makes any sense. So that leaves me in a place where I'm trying to resolve the visuals and the mechanics together. So that puts me in a place where sometimes I want to have sails, and you know, how are we going to resolve that? So anyway, ramble. I've got my ramble on, don't mind me. And I feel like, hey, thanks, timer. I better merge all this business down. I'm going to opacitize it a bit. I'm going to duplicate it first. I don't know. I don't know what kind of art briefs these guys get. Like, I don't want to diss on the artists, like especially because it's been 30 years. You know, that part of the pump, that boat has sailed. But there's no reason to diss the original work, because back then they had the you know, the sailing crew that needed to help with actually working the rigging. It's 5e, Wizards of the Coast, shortchanging themselves on the quality of their product. I hope history will help this company look back and recognize that half-assing stuff didn't do anybody any favors. That is my ardent request. Pay the fuck attention. Do that. Then we're going to do duplicate your layers, go fast. Nothing fast about this. Free transform equals flip horizontal. I remember Dark Matter by Mage Hand Press did a decent job of having different people doing different roles on the ship, even going as far as having dedicated feats like Dogfighter, Captain, etc. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with the role system that we have for this. I know that you know this, Hernetico, but for those that are playing at home, one of the major objectives of this project was to create vehicle combat options that duplicated the 5e, the 5-foot scale combat loop. That you have your actions, your bonus actions, and reactions that can all be used just like you would use them in dungeon combat at the 5-foot scale, so that the only change in the actions you take is in the scale at which you're doing them, if that makes any sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Get rid of that. Keep that. So, and the nice thing about how this system is built is that if there are other supplements that offer different role actions, like if you want to have your first mate use their action to make an intimidation check, and as a result of it you can increase the speed of your ship by 2 squares that round. Great, go ahead and do it. There's absolutely nothing that says you can't. The way that we built the action economy here is that it literally just folds into actions, bonus actions, reactions, and then your iterative attacks. So if there's something from someplace else, it's like, I think this would be a cool option to add to the options for siege commanders. Like, great, go ahead and add them. There's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that. So that's I'm actually really, really happy with how that panned out. I wanna say that I want to do something like this. Yeah, that's just a chef's kiss right there. I think ship rolls is forgive my humility. I think that ship rolls are invented because people weren't able to figure out how just to keep the normal action economy. Like, period. Maybe people want that. I don't know. I think people use those rolls because it's the only rolls that were given on a normal boat in the sea. You know, that moves slow and it's hard to turn it, and it's basically just going to float anyway, so it's not going to go anywhere. I think ship rolls make a lot of sense because there's so little you can affect the boat. But like with Infernal war machines that are moving like at 40 some odd miles per hour, and then Spelljammer ships that have, you know, hover perfect maneuverability capabilities, I think both of those types of vehicles, it's appropriate to have the same type of action economy as you would in the dungeon. And but it's different from the boat. So when you're looking at the ship, you're thinking that's a boat. We should use boat mechanics with it. But the way that the ships are, the way that maneuverability and the actions of the ship are described in the actual SAIS is hold on, breath. There we go. Okay, cool. That's all lined up now. I can continue pontificating. Haha. Victory is mine. Let's, well, we typically do the sail first, so let's do the sail first. Let's use our color reference. Like, I think it's really important to challenge assumptions when you're looking at game designs, especially when you're designing new systems. You kind of have to pay close attention to, like, why was this thing implemented in the first place, and if you can see what the purpose of the original design was, then you can properly assess, does this thing still need to exist? Like, if they're going to get rid of the need for ship crews, WotC didn't need to keep the original ship art. They could have revised it without sails, because now you don't have to ask, if there's these sails, how many crew do I need to make those sails work? And the answer is, don't know. There is no answer to that, because it's not something, they didn't intend for you to have to worry about crew, but they left the sail aesthetic in place. They didn't ask, why were these sails here, and how, and what is that inference going to do to the game? It's that Ludo narrative that you hear Riker on Cleric's Corner talk about so often. Like, what is it about the mechanics that you're using that's informing the character? And in this instance, it's what is the mechanics implying about the physics or the operation of the ship, and they aren't jiving. So the ship rule doesn't jive. Like, if you're having to shout and order a bunch of crew around to push the sails into place to make the ship go faster, then that as an action for your first mate or captain to take makes a lot of sense. if the siege weapons are only going to be able to fire like every other round, then having command options like rolls to make sure that one shot you're going to take every other round with that weapon is going to make a difference. Like these are just logical things that you have to extrapolate because of how the base mechanics of the system are, which is like a siege weapon takes 3 actions to load and fire, and it doesn't take into account that, well, if you have 3, if a weapon takes 3 actions to fire and you have 3 crewmen there that are making that happen, how much action economy do those creatures unto themselves normally have? Well, they have an action, they have a bonus action, they have reactions, and depending on their skill level, they have multiple attacks per round. So like loading a crossbow, for instance, you can arguably sacrifice an attack action. If you have 3 attacks per round, you could arguably make an attack, use an attack action to reload the weapon, and then use another attack to fire it again. That same logic is applied to ballistas, except it's not just you that's loading it. You've got 3 guys there that are loading it, turning it, firing it, and under your command. So like you don't need a roll to, like, you don't need a special action to make that like a roll, and like only the person that's performing that roll can take that action. Like anybody can take that action. It's just that's the attack action that you're taking. You're commanding your crew to fire, and they're keeping pace with you. So anyway, it's just, yeah, it's interesting if you're looking at like why are the different roles implemented. It's how the base assumptions of the vehicle that they are operating, and I like how fast and loose they made Spelljammer ships in 5e, but they didn't do any of the hard work necessary to flesh that out so that it became an integral part of the campaign. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling. Sorry, I'm losing customers by the second. But again, the whole book will be 100% free to read, so you will be welcome to check it out. Look at the ship roll section and how that action economy breaks down. Like using object interactions to pilot the ship by steering it, and then having use your actual action to like dash, like to move the ship again. So like super basic, like very simple 5e combat mechanics at the 5-foot scale, but at the 50 or the 500-foot scale, it works exactly the same way. And the ships are fast enough to be able to cover the distance. So there is no loss of time in movement. There is no need for maneuverability because it's flight. And flight in 5e doesn't have maneuverability. The maneuverability in the ships in Spelljammer 2nd edition made a lot of sense because creatures that could fly had maneuverability as well. They could only turn in so tight of a circle in 2nd edition. 3e and 5e, 3e on got rid of that stuff because it is the mechanical cost of looking at what that arc is and like how fast can you turn and what can I do while I'm flying. The burden of those mechanics were heavier than the fun that they were creating from them. So Wizards got rid of it, and I think that was a good decision. And then they compensated for the maneuverability with hover. It's like you can either hover or you can't, and if you can't hover, then you can't stop. But you can still, all your maneuverability is still as though you were walking. It's just aerial. So by default, then that maneuverability gets extended to anything that can fly. So the mismatch is attempting to implement turn radius on the ships that are flying. So you have mismatching mechanics, but no depth of rules to explain the changes. Like they're like, you could, if you want more restrictive combat for your ships, you could consider using Salt Marsh. We know you don't own it. Maybe you do. So if you do, you can use those rules. If you don't, never mind. They were just completely saving page count by doing that. They didn't want to just duplicate the rules, but they also can't assume that you have Salt Marsh rules. So that's why it's so thin, because they're saving. They're a $1 billion company. They don't need to cut expenses, except that they're publicly traded, so they do. It's the public trading part that's destroying the creative element of it. I've got my sass on, don't mind me. But yeah, businesses kill creativity. They want to monetize creativity. They don't. Artists aren't business owners. They want to create and be inspired. But the corporate machine wants, the profit. We know what this stuff is. So there's a painful inconsistency there between a developer maybe like, I need another half page to really flesh out these mechanics correctly, and they are absolutely not going to get that. Like, no, this is the page count that you get. This is what we budgeted for pages. Make it work. It's like, fuck, we got to cut stuff. Challenge. You can't shit on the designers for what they provided. You really need to shit on the project lead that limited their resources and options. So I think more than anything, this whole thing about Hasbro and then the Wizards team trying to get information out as leaks about, this is what's actually going on behind here, and them being so discontent with the process has really allowed me to have a lot more mercy towards the decisions that we've seen roll out, like the complete lack of depth, the disappointing background lore on stuff, the thin mechanics. I don't think Perkins, Crawford, Justice, anybody that's there, I don't think any of those dudes are happy with what their constraints are. I think they're just trying to do the best they can with what they're being allowed to do. I think they would all love to have had another 100 pages for this project, like really make Spelljammer something special in 5 evens. They just flat out did not have that opportunity, so they're getting dogged by a lot of people, like designers like me that will happily spend 6 months or a year of my life like hyper focusing on this particular product, this particular book, to flesh out the 100 pages of content that we're missing from the Spelljammer offering from Wizards. It's they don't have that luxury, unfortunately. They could if the company was guided more by people that actually love D&D, but the same problem. There's the problem from TSR bankrupting themselves by doing that sort of stuff, by loving the work. It's just the problem that TSR had was it was more expensive for them to produce those things back in the day. It was a heavier lift for them to be able to produce these things. So distribution was different. It's a lot easier to distribute information now than it was, obviously. But they weren't. It wasn't nearly as popular as it is now. So Like Wizards could like if TSR had the kind of reach that Wizards has now with Dungeons and Dragons, all that stuff, all those different settings that TSR put out would have been able to be funded and supported and possibly even followed. Like it wouldn't have had to it would have how to put it. It would have fragmented the audience, like I love Planescape versus I love Dark Sun versus I love Mystara. Like you'd have that divide, but there's so many people playing D&D now that it's questionable if that divide is lethal. You know? Like you can afford, like if they had put out 40 books for Forgotten Realms in 5e. If 2e had never existed, and this was the first opportunity we had seen, and this was the amount of depth that if they had taken the depth that TSR provided, if Wizards had done that, I would be really curious. It'd be really interesting, hypothetically, to see like how popular would a book on Chult really be in 5e, and then attach the what is it the Tomb of Horrors, like that hex crawl. Like could they have actually fleshed out a 200-page book on Krynn and then included the Solamnia military campaign, but then be able to suggest how you could extend that campaign to these different regions on the map that we have no 5e information about whatsoever. Like I don't know how successful that would be, and they don't either because they've never tried. So it's a little frustrating, I would say. I'm going to duplicate that layer. Didn't make a difference. Okay. Sales. 7-Eleven. I got 50 minutes to finish this boat. Can I do it? History says no. But we'll see. We'll go with that as our initial base, and then we'll use that as our interior. Let's just pour it on. Oh man, absolutely wrong decision. Let's try that again. The new layer. I don't know what the long-term solution is. cereal. Yeah, gotta do that. Damn it. Alright, that means the sales are off now. At least that was an easy fix. They were off balance there. I had to fix them. Me and my crappy portioning. The next lesson I have learned is make sure I zoom in close to make sure things are properly lined up. Duplicate the layer, transform, flip horizontal. Perfect. Oops. Good. Merge that down. Let's take a look at our bit there. Yeah, let's just duplicate that layer. Free transform. That'll do. Go to here. Yeah, that'll do. Ship frame. What is that? 2? That's a foot. like that. And those pixels. Clean up those pixels. I'm going to duplicate this layer, bloop, and we're going to flip it horizontal. Bloop. Blah, 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 blah. And push it into place. So far, so good. We can put that, then like that. Yeah, that's good. Not the way to do it. Let's do it like this. Go like that. I'm not happy with that. No. Zero. Let's get rid of that. Let's try that again. Let's try it again. That's better. There we go. Much, much better. All right, so we can duplicate this. And free transform. And yeah. Free transform. Flip horizontal. Slide in. Perfect. Perfect. Merge down. Sales good. All are good. Let's keep at it. Let's see. Got that taken care of. Got that taken care of. We've got a there and there, and merge those down. Let's create another one. What is going on? What is up with that triangle? Hold on. A weird triangle on our deck. That's what it is. Okay. Two pixels wide. There we go. Two pixels. Merge that there, and good. Good. Hey, I hear you. 7:30. It's not late. It's early. Doing good. I'm actually doing really good today. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just like that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There. Boom, 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 boom. Duplicate that layer, and then we'll go free transform, and then we'll flip horizontal, and then for some reason that completely didn't work out. So we're going to merge down. We're going to do over. Merge down, duplicate, cancel, retransform, flip horizontal, there. Now we'll slide that into place, merge down. Like that. Stairs. LeFou, I'm afraid I've been thinking. Let's see how that pans out. Let's see what we can do with what if I had a thought. What was it? Does that work? Soft balance. Yeah. There we go. Cool. Is there a door? No, no door. Okay. heads up. Next thing we need to do is here and 2 pixels. Merge down, merge down, merge down. Merge down. New layer. Boy, that does not feel right. Huh. We are actually almost done. That is ridiculous and crazy. Yeah, so let's sure, let's do that. We still have planks that we have the planks to put down, which we'll be able to fetch from the damselfly. And those will go underneath this. Here, yeah, here we just need up. Bop. Well, let's put our planks down first before we move into this, because when we know what color the planks are that we're going to use, then we should be able to better understand the color that we need for the leaves. Give me that. Duplicate. Thank you. Color, hammer, lock. Holy Hannah, this ship is big. That hammer ship is so huge compared to like everything. It is ridiculous. Easy peasy. Thank you. 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left to draw some leaves. Oh my god, I actually got this done like in the same day that I started it. This is almost completely unheard of. So how freaking exciting is that? Let's not get overly enthusiastic because we're not actually done yet. So hip hop hooray. Let's do that. I don't know. That kind of looks like hot garbage. Let's try that again. Oh my god, I might not actually get done. That's horrible. Let's see what we can do here. Do something like that. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, hey, we did a thing, guys. We did a thing. Let's see if there's any other brighter highlights. God, I like how they're doing color separation on here a lot. Really admire that. Bam, dude. That is that's a living ship. Save. There's that. That. Proud. Duplicate. Because the Trent acts as a siege weapon. So we have 2 siege weapons. Bop, bop, there you go. Stitch that shut. Here it only shows us 1 because Trent can literally just pick up and throw rocks. So it acts as a siege weapon. But yeah, that guy is done, dude. So cheers to us. Knocked down another guy. We're going to come back and let's roll a D9. How do you roll a D9? You take a D6 and you take a D4. You add the results together and you subtract 1. D4 and D6 is a range of 2 to 10. So if you subtract 1, it's 1 to 9. We have 9 ships left. We roll a 5 and we rolled a 2. That's 7 minus 1 equals 6. So the next ship that we're going to work on will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Squid ships next. Bop. Nice. So we will work on the squid ship next week. It's a bigger ship, so there's a chance we might not get it done. And I'll have to make sure the frame is right. But hey, guys, thanks a lot. I appreciate you being here. If you're new to the channel and you stuck around, then subscribe because I do this every day. We create tokens. These will all be assets that are included with the upcoming release of... Where are you? Spelljammer Combat Exploration. So we'll have all the ship tokens. We have all the regional maps for Light as Araxis Adventure. a good solid 80 pages of mechanics. We have a random system generator, and then we have the 20 page conversion guide for Lattice or Axis. So we're going to keep doing this. Check out the backlog of playlists on the Spelljammer channel. We'll be back tonight in about 11 hours to work on Eberron. The cemetery map that we've been working on, we're really far along on that. We're close to getting done with it. And the fact that the squid ship looks a lot like a smooth surface might help with the speed, though. Yeah, that is true. And we've gotten a common language for these things, so I know how to hash these things out. So it may go quickly. We'll see if we can hit the ground running tomorrow morning. And see if we can get it done in a 2-hour block. So, but yeah, you're right. There's just a lot of reflective and shading going on, which I'm pretty quick with. So the deck itself is actually pretty small. You are correct, sir. So it actually might go pretty quickly, especially if I have the thing built correctly right. So I'll see if I can spend some off-camera time. But yeah, my dudes, thanks a lot for being here. I am super looking forward to this thing being released. There is so much stuff that we can do with this once it's out. I'm just excited. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. If you are able to show up tomorrow night or tonight for the Eberron graveyard work, you are most welcome to be here. I would love to have the company. So I'll catch anybody when I can. Shoot out at me at Twitter. Check the books that you can read for free on DMsGuild. And if you know where I'm at on Discord, be welcome to shout out at me. So I'll see you guys on the other side, and thanks a lot. Bye.